And now I want to introduce Sonja, because Sonja is the moderator of the next panel.
Thank you, Hannes. So, we are really looking forward. Good morning, Vienna, and we are really looking forward now to our panel, and we have a great round of experts here now for the topic of how to enter the German-speaking market. So we will talk about Germany, Switzerland, and for sure Austria. And it was wonderful that you also mentioned Bavaria as an extra country, because I'm a Bavarian, but this is not.
And I'm a Bavarian as well.
We are part of Germany.
Yeah, there's a very interesting sentence I've heard in America. So an American asked me, "Oh, you're from Bavaria? Bavaria near Germany?" So the Americans, some of them think that Bavaria is an own country, and me as a Bavarian, to be honest, I feel so. Yeah, so let's introduce our speakers. So please come on stage from EIT Manufacturing, Jasmina. From, I think also in a few points, a world market leader, also World Electronic, Thomas. And from a very interesting startup, maybe you can give us a bit more information about your startup and your special way how to finance your startup. Please welcome Niels Berger from Viewpoint System. So Sonja, the stage is yours.
I will take over now. Thank you so much.
And I'm very curious about the insights.
Good. So, entering the DACH region. So DACH is D for Deutschland, so Germany, A for Austria, and CH for Switzerland. And this is why we will talk about the DACH region sometimes now. And it's really challenging for international startups due to several reasons. There are no one-stop shops available in all the countries. The landscape can be described highly fragmented, so we have accelerators, founder centers, like we accelerate here as well, programs of national development agencies, corporate programs, investors, national and EU soft funding programs, and many more. And in Germany, it is even more challenging as the federal structure results in even more fragmentation than in the other two countries. And in this session, we try to generate some tips for those who are interested to grow into the DACH region. I'm Sonja Sulzmeier, managing partner of Navispace, and we connect techpreneurs and corporates since 2003, so for 19 years right now. There was even not the word startup in the existing at that time, and with our Innovation World Cup series. And here you can also find some information about the Innovation World Cup. And I'm also the chairwoman of the National Founder and Startup Commission of the largest association in Germany. That's the BVMW. It's an association for small and medium-sized companies, so many startups amongst them. And now I want to hand over to, for the introduction of the speakers. I want to start with Jasmina, so everyone will introduce herself and himself very shortly, and then we start into our panel discussion.
Thank you very much, Sonja. It's a pleasure to be here today, and I'm really happy that Wolf Summit made it to Vienna. I've been part of the event several years back in Warsaw. It was amazing, and I hope you enjoyed the networking, the best part. I'm coming from EIT Manufacturing as a senior business creation manager. I'm based in Vienna. So whenever startups from all around Europe would like to come to the Viennese market, we try to help them here because we have the right connections. In the past, I was also working a lot in the CE region, so I would say that always startups in CE look at the DACH region as the best market that they would like to access. So it's a great topic today. My job as a senior business creation manager is to help startups not just with funding. We provide some investments, but I think that the most important part for the startups so far was the access to new markets, new customers, new partners in doing business in countries across Europe. So our headquarters is based in Paris. Our office in Vienna is covering the region in CE. However, we have team members that are located in Germany, Sweden, Spain, Italy, which makes my life easier when Austrian startups would like to go to those markets. So in general, this is what we do daily. On the other side, we have a corporate network which is quite strong in the manufacturing sector, and that helps also when we do the introductions because corporate members are quite dedicated to what we are doing together in terms of innovation in the manufacturing sector.
Now, Tom, maybe you can tell. It's the introduction round, so I will ask you later on what you are doing exactly. So keep it short, please.
Yes, I will do. Thank you for having me here in Vienna. I'm Thomas. I'm Startup and Venture Manager in the Wirth Electronic Group, and we wanted to support the startups or enable the startups. So we are not an investor. We wanted to bring them very fast to the market, and that's our mission.
Niels? This was really perfect.
So my name is Niels. Hi there. Founder and CEO of Viewpoint System. We are Vienna-based deep tech company, 6 years old, embedded. So we're doing software and hardware development, PCB design, manufacturing also in Vienna, which makes us a rare breed. So that's about it. And smart glasses, yeah, that's what we do.
Perfect. So thank you very much. I will start with ladies first. So the European Institute of Technology provides soft landing programs. You already gave a little summary, but and you are responsible for the manufacturing part in Austria. So can you give us more information about exactly what EIT soft landing services provide? Also maybe the ones you're in Austria now, but also the ones you provide for, let's say, international startups coming to Austria.
I've heard that there are many startups coming also from Poland and from the region, and I'm happy about it because as a European organization, we are committed to covering the whole Europe. And when it comes to Austrian market, what we can offer is our business, our cooperation with the Vienna Business Agency. This is a program that we run every year. It's called Discover Vienna Manufacturing Edition. And this is the first insight that startups can get into our ecosystem because it's a bit complex. So part of the program is B2B sales training for the DACH region. So how you do business, how you sell in the DACH region. This is, let's say, the first onboarding. Additionally, we try to connect few system integrators, corporates, and investors from the local ecosystem with the industrial startups coming from the CE countries. And this is, I think, the biggest value that they see because this is helping them to know people already on the ground and helps them further expand their networks. So it's a 5-day program on site in Vienna during Vienna Up, and it's something that it's some kind of a light soft landing program that we provide. On top of it, the startups that are raising and are interested into our own funding schemes, we provide mentoring, coaching, and investment readiness in order to help them understand all the basics that they need to have before being assessed for an investment. So this is the program that I recommend to everybody coming from CE region and would like to just explore a bit the Austrian market.
And we talked before, you also said you support events, so you're here today, yeah, this is one, but you are doing further activities also in this, with this respect.
It's an amazing when the startups are coming for those 5 days. Vienna Up, it's full of events. Everybody can find their space there and their topic. We are only doing industry, so we join forces usually with AWS. In the matchmaking events, they do excellent job with matchmaking between corporates, investors, and startups. And in every edition, we have one event with Connect Day, where it's only matchmaking and also seeing and feeling the ecosystem here. Otherwise, if we just keep people in closed rooms and meetings with the corporates and investors, they cannot get the feeling what they can do here. And this is something that it's definitely useful.
Yeah, I think it's very important here because AWS is normally for German-speaking people, Amazon Web Services. Here it's the Austrian please let me tell me, Wirtschaftsservice, I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
it is.
so AWS is not Amazon Web Services. It's so if you want to become part of this, let's say, very vivid Austrian ecosystem. So this is a good. These are two good, let's say, addresses there. I understand. And what is your experience with regards to mandatory requirements for if I am an international startup? So what do you think are mandatory requirements to enter the Austrian market?
So in order to be able to expand at all, you need to have resources, capacity, already some references built. And it's always useful to have networks and local partners in the market that help you. And in Austria, at least, we have so many accelerators, incubators, venture builders, support organizations. Especially, I really recommend to everybody to look into the business agencies of each region, including Vienna Business Agency, if they are targeting certain regions. For example, for us, in industry, when we are talking manufacturing, this is Upper Austria, Styria, Carinthia, and Vienna. We do quite a lot there. And the business agencies are very, very informative and have their own programs in order to understand better, okay, where it makes sense to do business and how to get in touch with some corporates. Usually we do business to business business models, startups that actually try to engage with manufacturing sector and help the manufacturing sector. That's why I'm referring to those. Maybe for B2C or other health sector, it's a bit of a different story.
Mm-hmm. This is the same in Germany. So in the regions we have, let's say, focus application area. So Hamburg is very good for logistics, for example. Then we have, let's say, Berlin is for all pure software startups, a very good location, and also upcoming. Also IoT is upcoming. Bavaria, so especially Munich, is very good for IoT and clearly the automotive industry that is located around, and also aerospace. And but we have some, let's say, the medical valley in Erlangen, Nuremberg. So we have also regions that have special programs for in specific application areas, and this is also quite interesting. But when we discussed before, you said a mandatory requirement is language. And maybe you can tell us a little bit about language, and we have the same topic in Germany. For many of the programs, you need a legal entity in Germany, and and this is something I would be also interested in. How is this in Austria?
So luckily, we have some regional investors that do not require that kind of legal entity in the region, but I would say that the most of the industrial investors are requiring that at least there is a clear market target in Austria and a vision to expand here in order to be eligible for investments. This is something that is a must. In terms of language, I'm quite open with languages. In our team, we speak all the languages. English is our official language as a European organization. However, in some regions, when you go around Austria, more and more events are in German language. So if you want to pitch, the pitch needs to be in German, and sometimes it's harder. We try to open up a bit these ecosystems, but if you really like to do business in industry, it's not only Germany, it's also Spain. When you go to manufacturing SMEs, there's sometimes a problem with English language. So a language barrier is still often a problem. We try to make sure that there are international events where we also enable larger participation of the community, because in my opinion, we find very, very good startups in Slovenia, Slovakia, Czech Republic. So far, the best ones that we worked, let's say, in the region are coming from those countries. However, German sometimes can be an issue in industry.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. But we also have here in Austria exciting startups and scale-ups, and one of them is sitting. So the CEO is sitting next to me. So Niels is as a CEO of a Viewpoint System, and he's also a former Innovation World Cup winner. So yes, but I think it was already some years. I think it's 5 years. 5 years, 3 years, 4 years ago. And so Niels, did you use at the beginning, because you're clearly now in a scale-up phase, you are planning Series A funding, I think this year. And so did you use at the beginning any national or EU soft grants and programs?
Not really. It was a combination of not being aware of and not having the, let's say, the skills and also not the resources to apply for these kind of programs. What kicked us off was that we kind of stumbled into an EU program, and then we won the highest Austrian grant ever from the EU Horizon 2020 Open Innovation Fund, 2.3 million net, which was like, whew. So that kind of made us aware there are several programs. And then first, we kind of got into the EU environment that gave us credibility and visibility in Austria. Mm-hmm. And then we teamed up with AWS and Vienna Business Agency and these providers of awesome tools, awesome ideas, not only cash, but also knowledge when it comes to IP and so on. It depends certainly on the sector you're in as a company or as a startup. But we kind of made a very weird approach towards the Austrian ecosystem. But now we are truly trying to leverage it to the max, because there is something very approachable around. It's not too administrative. So it's pretty easy to get access and then to talk to them. But nonetheless, you have to perform to get funding or to get advice or whatsoever. But it's a ton of things around in Austria you can take advantage of in a positive way as a startup.
Yeah, so it sounds here in Austria we have at least 2 central players that are really important, and you should be aware of, that those 2 players are here, and we have them here also. Vienna Business Agency is one of the, let's say, partners also of the WOOF Summit. And how did you manage to go from Austria then to Germany and Switzerland? Probably it was because you started with the EU. It was maybe not so difficult then, or were there any differences, let's say, between Austria and Germany and Switzerland?
Yeah, there are huge differences. I think it was a reasonable decision. We are a B2B focused startup in remote maintenance, remote support, training. So for us, industry or manufacturing industry is a key industry. So it came pretty naturally to go for Bavaria, Baden-Württemberg, Switzerland, Upper Austria, these kind of regions, because you have a high concentration of our potential key clients. Secondly, traveling is not that difficult. You can meet many clients in a short period of time. I love being efficient because I'm also involved in visiting clients and doing business development. But the cultural difference is way bigger than one would assume. The only thing that kind of unites us in the DACH region is sort of the same language. It's not the same language, by the way. And people really take that deadly serious. Bavaria, Germany is one of these. I mean, Bavaria does not think it's a part of Germany, and the rest of Germany doesn't think that Bavaria is a part of Germany. So there are huge cultural differences. And if you play it wrongly, you might end up in a dead end. It's really, it's pretty tricky. And, the learnings are like...
Can you give an example? So if you say there are huge differences, in what respect?
When as an example, now I'm a bit provocative, so don't get me wrong. When you go to Germany, people talk fast, but they not always think as fast as they talk. But you're impressed by their language skills. Then you go to Switzerland and people talk slowly, but they are way ahead of their language with thinking, so you rather underestimate them. And then in Austria, you're kind of in between and everything feels easygoing, but then at the end, everyone has an agenda. And just having these 3 different counterparts in a business meeting might lead to total different outcomes. So really getting an understanding of the culture and the environment and of the people you're talking to is crucial. Because if you treat a Swiss like a German and an Austrian like a German, or the opposite way around, they feel offended. It's funny. You don't have that in the US, that dramatic. Yes, if you treat a Texan like a Californian, or the other way around, you might end up in jail. But in general, do not underestimate the identity of the people you talk to, although the language is misleading towards, that's one ecosystem, that's one kind of culture. It's not.
Mm-hmm. I can share some of the experience with Switzerland. I worked for the Zürcher Kantonalbank in a consulting project, and every time I went there, I had the feeling, because I'm very quick and powerful, and they always slowed me down, and I always thought I won't get through my program with them. But at the end of the day, even though we went, let's say, for a long lunch break, and then they bought some chocolate for me there during the lunch break and something like this, at the end of the day, we were very productive. So this is somehow, let's say, supporting your experience as well. Good. So you are currently underway to starting also business in Japan and Scandinavia and Canada, or you already started it? And if you compare it to German-speaking countries, what is the difference there?
I think that especially the US and Japan are way more curiosity-driven, meaning they are more open to new stuff and are just willing to give you money just to try it out, and then as a POC kind of thing, then determine whether they move on. So you might generate cash earlier, easier. You have early successes in selling your product, which is a huge difference to Europe, especially the German-speaking region, where there, it's like the not invented here thing, and that let's take it easy, and we have to check and so on. So that's for me the major difference. When you're in an Austrian, German, or Swiss company, you are in, and you have a pretty fair chance to scale your business with them, like POC, national rollout, international rollout. But when you're just looking for quick successes, market feedback, and learning from clients, it's pretty imperative that you find curious clients. And unfortunately, they are still way more often in Japan and in the US than in Europe. Still, we're catching up, but it's just easier to sell 20K worth of tool systems to someone in Japan because I like the idea. Come on, let's try. Let's order two.
Mm-hmm. So it's more easygoing at the beginning, and they are more curious. Yeah, this is clear to try new stuff, and they have more. Still, the investment landscape in German-speaking countries is poor compared to the US, and also UK has more, let's say, investors. But we are catching up, and it's getting better. So thank you very much. You can also, if you want to add, so that's not like a question answer from me to you. So Tom, we are coming to the corporate side of the support for starting a business in the German-speaking countries. You are managing the startup program of Würth Electronic and also inside the Würth Group. So how can corporates support international startups in starting a business in Germany, Austria, or Switzerland? And looking forward to hearing your solutions or the solutions of the Würth Group at the moment.
Yes, as I told, we are, as a Würth Electronic Group, present all over the world. We are in more than 50 countries all over the world. We get all these startups from there. And our USP is we have in these countries all the technical partners or the technical sales teams. And when they wanted to come to Germany, they can contact us because our headquarters is in Germany. We are in Baden-Württemberg. And we work in Germany together with all the business agencies of the regions, either if Bavarian, if Berlin, or regional business agencies like Heilbronn. And in these business agencies, there are some big players inside, like the Lidl Group or Wirth Group, and they support them because they want to bring business to the regions. And for us, that we are a supporter or an enabler, we can give these startups also support in the certification of products. When you see in the international business, we have many startups also from South America or Brazil for food tech or for agriculture. And we see in many cases they work with radio modules. They are not EMC tested because they don't need it there. When you want to enter the German or the European market, you need these testings, these certifications, and we can give them to them. And I think when they have these certifications in Europe, they can get their business all over the world.
Yeah, thank you. So it's a big. This is really one opportunity. This is an advantage of working with a corporate like Wirth, or we also have some. I hope EBV Electronic is also around. They have, let's say, team members in every country, and you are connected to the regional development agencies, even the, let's say, the federal structure in Germany. So you're working with Berlin partner, and at the same time you also work with Unternehmertum in Bavaria. So that's the biggest founder center in Europe. So you have also set up in every country, let's say, the networks. And then startups can also use. And this is one opportunity, and it doesn't. Here you also don't have to install a legal entity, for example, in Germany. You can just approach Thomas and his team when you are interested to starting a business in Germany that is relevant to Wirth Electronic. Yeah, so that's one, let's say, important topic here. Mm-hmm.
I really would like that. That's a super important point you just mentioned. When you're a hardware company, don't forget about the certifications, FCC, UL, CE, whatever, because it determines which market you can enter. It determines whether you are able to sell at all.
Yeah.
Because many forgot that. It was really like the first question of a client in Germany is like, give me the documentation that I'm allowed to put that in use. And then you're like, well, we didn't, but we heard that many times. So super important point, being a hardware startup.
And in every country you have different battery laws, for example. So if you are a hardware startup, you have completely different regulations, and this is something companies like this know what the regulations are in those countries. And then we have especially certification. If you talk about certification, we also have, let's say, the healthcare area. And I have one special topic. You find in each country also national new, let's say, regulation, but also opportunities. In Germany, for example, we have for digital health applications, we have the opportunity for international startups to apply for a so-called DIGA, that's a digital application, and this, there you can, let's say you have, let's say, an easy entry into the certification. At the end, you have to do a certification, but it's a more relaxed way on entering, also for international startups, the German healthcare market, if you have a digital health application. So this is, so there are some, even this is why I said at the beginning, there is a lot of fragmentation here, and then even for special application areas, then opportunities you can find out in asking, let's say, EIT, health or manufacturing in approaching, let's say, the corporates that are involved in every country in this. And also, let's say, networks like the Innovation World Cup we are doing, there is a lot of information then there. Can you give us also an example of a great growth journey? Because you just, I know you're working with many startups on how you supported here an international startup to grow in Germany or Austria or Switzerland.
Yes, that's what I said. We are entering the accelerators. Also here in Vienna, we're working together. We have an corner where we support with our hardware, where they can use our hardware, where they have the people to get workshops. And we do it the same way in Germany or international. That's why we are in the Innovation World Cup, because there are many partners. Together we can help these startups with these development kits, these reference designs to start their business. And we have in Germany a startup, it's an international startup, it's called Hitler. They do inductive water cooker. And it takes 7 years to come to the market from the first idea. And we can support them with their customized coils to bring them to the market. And last year, they started a crowdfunding campaign, and they wanted to sell nearly 1,000 products, and they get orders for more than 7,000 products. And so they started 11 months later, they get the first products to the customer, and now, yes, they have the problem of the components, the chips, but they do their business. And that's with this support from these corporates, they can get much faster to the markets and enter these markets.
Thank you so much. And do we have some, I think, because we have 4 minutes left, so do you, so that's enough time for a short, let's say, a tip from everyone. So to summarize also our session here, what is a great tip for someone who wants to start business in the German-speaking countries? Yeah,
okay.
start. Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't make a distinction between the German-speaking markets and the markets as such. First of all, the market sucks. That's a general rule because it's tough. Secondly, the market is always right. So get over it. And thirdly, adapt and overcome. Every plan is good as long as it hasn't hit reality, and the market is reality. So the longer you hide on your, sorry for the expression, bullshit castle with your own ideas only, and you haven't really confronted the market with it, you just don't know whether you're right or wrong as a startup. So I rather recommend everyone to hit the market as early as possible. Explain it to clients, this is a beta product, but please give us feedback, because that gives you the opportunity to potentially afterwards adapt to what the market needs. And hiding and thinking you need a perfect product, that's the wrong approach, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I believe that first thing is to do your research. Every startup should know which market is important. Sometimes it's not the DACH. market. Sometimes it's another market. And the second thing is, once you know the market, try to find local partners. If you're really early stage, try to find organizations like Würfe or others that are helping with the first entry and maybe POC, and then you have a reference and it's easier for you. If you're later stage, hire a salesperson that understands the culture, that understands the language, and that has connections locally. This is a must. But that needs to be probably at a certain stage of maturity of the company for internationalization, and it's not only German market or Austrian, it's also about Spanish or French market. Sometimes startups that we work with go just with system integrators, and this is also good, but also with sales partnerships. How you're finding a sales partner that will dedicate time to your product, it's another let's say, risk and a matter to negotiate. So there are many options, but local partnerships and networks really, really matter.
Thank you.
Yes, as I often say, every startup wants to be a unicorn, but I think many startups will be the next mid-sized companies. And I think when you go to the German, to the Austrian or the Switzerland market, you find many mid-sized companies. They can support you, they can help you to bring your business to the market. You can partner with them. I think they are a little bit yes, old-fashioned in some cases, but I talked to many mid-sized companies the last years, and they wanted to get partner with startups to make new products, to bring their products to a next level. And I think the German, Austrian, and Switzerland is the right way to make business in future.
Yeah, I think this is also a very important point now. Thank you so much. We haven't talked about medium-sized businesses. We have many medium-sized businesses in all German-speaking countries. So in Germany, in Austria, but also in Switzerland. And this is a huge opportunity. So do not approach only the huge players, but the medium-sized ones. And there are many, and they are open to discuss, to work together with startups. This is I think, a wonderful point and a wonderful point for the German-speaking for the DACH region. I want to thank now everyone. We are at the end of our round. Thank you so much for the great insights here in our panel. I also, to Jasmina, Nils and Tom, and I also want to thank the Wolf Summit team, so Monica here, Alena and Rosie and Mike, and all the others we don't know, but for hosting our panel here, or for that we are here now today. And also for, if you are a startup, submit your solution to the Innovation World Cup. We are looking forward to it. It's free of charge. And we support there also your visibility at the Hannover Messe, at Medica. Because we are doing a lot of pitches there. So this is our great collaboration also here with the Wolf Summit team, that we can bring you also to those huge international trade shows. Thank you so much. We will be around. Contact us in LinkedIn. And we have 1 minute more. Sorry for this. Looking forward to the next session. Hannes.